Good afternoon. Welcome to Fishing for Bees, April 25th. It's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 54 degrees, no wind. So what we're doing today, just make it quick, I'll talk while I'm doing it, is we're going to get into each one of these. We're going to check for queen cells. We're going to crush them. We're going to possibly rotate the nucs. The white one's important to verify a laying queen. That one this weekend is going to go to the north to a hobby farm that's having problems pollinating their trees, their fruit trees and such, and they say there's no bees. So I'm going to take them a colony. That's going to be a project this year. I'm really excited about it. I'm interested. It is a pollination contract and it is a paying gig, but it's far away and I will break even on the gas, but it's going to be super fun and they're friends of mine. So I'm looking forward to that and seeing if we can get a significant yield increase. One other thing I'm doing is you'll see inside these quilt boxes, I have burlap pillows that I made with coffee burlap bags and chips. We sewed them up so they don't fall apart and they're really easy to play with. But I had a bunch of extra burlap, so I cut it up into some pieces and I'm going to start using that as a smoker, see how it works, or use it as fuel inside the smoker. So I'm not going to sit here and chat too much. Let's get inside the white one first. All right, so I lied. I'm going to go on this one first. As I've mentioned before, if you have a colony that runs hot, such as that white one was last year, they were angry girls, do it last. Full of bees. All right, so one of the things I always like to do is give it a tip. Judge the weight. That is ridiculously light. I haven't been feeding because these need to go to another yard and I don't want them to weigh 80 pounds when I have to move them. These girls are real vocal. That can prove to not be a good sign as far as queenless. Drawn comb up here. Drawn comb in the fondant. I'm just looking to see how much was left, and there's none, which doesn't surprise me. So far so good on the burlap. I had to use a lot less than the pine needles. There was no problem lighting, and it's free. So if you go to a coffee shop and they want to charge you for the bag, go to another one. Everything's regional. I'm sure in some areas you can't get it for free, but I was able to get 20 bags for free, huge bags, made tons of pillows, and I left a ton more behind. So one of the other things I might do with these is rotate them. My guess is, especially by what we saw under the lid, that they're gonna all be up top. This frame is heavy. This one is full of nectar. She's got a nice brood pattern there in the center where I blew. Now that's not the evidence of a recently laying queen, right? So I'm not gonna bring it over there, but yeah, population explosion. So one of the other things we're doing is looking for queen cells. So I'll go back and check the other frames better. But down here, right? 2 of them are charged. That is charged and that's charged, meaning there's a queen in there, a queen laid in there. As you know, or if you're new, I'll repeat, I don't split. Every one of these is a swarm catch. Stands on its own. That's a beautiful one right there. I hope you can see that. So there you go. That is a big one. And for this colony, we are just in time. Find a capped one though, and then it wouldn't be just in time, right? Find a capped one, and you crush it, they still could swarm because their mind was already made up. We got some drone brood, right? Bullets sticking out of the cell, not flat. Drone brood. One of the other things I mention a lot is I don't look for the queen. I look for evidence of the queen. I don't have anything else to compare it to, right? I can't compare how I keep swarms to how I used to keep or how I purchase bees. I've never purchased bees. What I will say is there's a lot of freedom in keeping swarms, and maybe you do this to learn the ropes, right? Because you're nervous. So you catch swarms, keep those, and you decide you want to go in another direction. You know, purchasing bees, queens. But you cut your teeth here. I think that's a good thing, because it's a lot less stressful. I think you'll enjoy it more. So here is the problem with how I do this. I'm never making new queens, right? When they swarm, they make a new queen. And then the existing colony gets the fresh queen, the old queen leaves. People breed their queens. Purchase their queens. It's all the same. It's all requeening. And that's what you need. Because if they don't, then you got an old queen that could fail. Which I believe I had 2 this winter fail because they were old queens. I'm constantly crushing cells. I'm ruining their plans of making a new queen. I don't give them a chance to make a new queen. And my hope that they would recognize that and supersede doesn't always happen. I have had it happen frequently, but sometimes it doesn't happen. And again, because they're swarms, I'm okay with that. Outside frame, full of pollen. This thing, I gotta get it out of here. If you're having a hard time seeing inside a frame, put your back to the sun. So inside there's some larvae. I'm not sure what happened to the smoker. That's not good. In the middle of this. Super dry frame. I'm not looking for it. I often wonder if the sunlight hurts her eyes because she runs to the dark side of a frame when you expose her to the light. Now, one of the other things I have an option to do is if I discover the population is weaker in the one next door, I can rotate the boxes or I'm sorry, switch the colonies, right? Switch the colony positions on the stands. Put that one here, this one there. Send all this one's foragers and high population into this one when they come home. It's not a ton of equalization, but it is some. So the bottom is very dry. This is typical. I've had some that I don't have to rotate. This one has to be rotated because they're just going to keep building up and not go down. Okay. So better, right? Thank God. So now we're going to see if they still have the same desire as the other one to swarm. So they're up here. They're not liking that other colony. A lot of drone brood. I'm gonna wait to shake that one. There's a lot of bees on there, and I'm not gonna say that there won't be queen cells on the outside ones, but why would I shake all those in here to then have to look around them and work around them? So I'm gonna hold off on that. There's a lot of brood. Man, these frames up here have a lot of drones. You know, these are starter strip frames. So the good news is you can cut that right out and make it part of your mite management. Just like a green frame. Not as efficient, right? A whole green frame comes out and you're cutting and stuff like that. One thing is don't think that they'll then replace it with worker comb. They probably won't. Okay, so we got brood up here. We got one empty. We got two. I mean, I'm telling you, especially with starter strip frames, and especially while you keep crushing them, it's almost as if they get trickier in where they put them. I don't like this drone brood up in this area though. There's a bee coming out right there, chewing its way out. I wish it was at the bottom in a spot I don't want it, like right here. This is where I want it if I'm gonna have it. So far, depending on what we see in the bottom, this is just, that's not good. I let them do what they want. You know, if you want drones, make them, great, but drones aren't gonna get honey. Drones aren't gonna make honey. I will say that, very interesting. Less activity down here. Yeah, it's pretty good. I think she might be gone, or she might be failing. Nope, thank God. Found some. Again, you're back to the sun. I see some C's. Oh, and then she was here. Okay, now we gotta be careful though. She was here in the last couple days. Sorry, I don't have a way to show you, but so there's eggs, and they're laying down. They're not standing upright. If they're standing upright, so the egg is laying down. If from recall, I think that's about 3 days. First 2 days, it's standing upright, then it falls down. So yeah, awesome, man. She's laying. She had a period of time that she really wanted to lay some drones, but the good news is she's laying workers. Burlap looks like it's working better when you actually put enough in there. Temperament is good because I'm I'm making a mess of their plans here. So I'll edit this part out, but just know this one is going over here. This one is going over here. This is a strong colony. I'm assuming there's a lot of foragers out. And by moving this one over here, I'm going to send the foragers into the weaker one, and the less foraging or whatever ones into here. That's not a significant amount of equalization. The best thing for me to do would be to pull a brood frame out of here, give it to this one, but this one isn't that desperate, and I don't want to crack into that one again. So we're going to go with rotating the boxes and sending bees in different directions. All right, so no charged queen cells in that last colony. These are the quilt box pillows. I love them. Certainly there's a ton of ways, and this is me. We'll say that this isn't even the best way that I do it, but it's the way I do it. It's the way I'm comfortable with. This one's ripping, wanting to expand, right? Tons of drones brewed up here. I'm going to use that to capture this. You know, you can just take a quick look, right? When you get something, when you get a drone brood like this, and right there were mites. These need to be treated. I am late on OA. So what I need to do with this one is verify that there's a laying queen and crushed swarm cells, because this one's leaving. Again, I'm going to hold off on shaking. Drone brood, worker brood. Okay, so the reason why I did this one last is because they've been nasty since day one. And look at them. They're being pretty good. We got some queen cells, right? This one doesn't seem to be fully committed to swarming like the first one, but it seems like they have the idea a little bit more than the second one. This is the one that's going for the pollination contract up to White Cloud. If there's a laying queen, right? There's some larvae here. Again, back to the sun. There's some young larvae. I still would like to see an egg. But that tells me, I think 7 days ago she was there. Good brood frame. Not great. But that's going to be, this is going to be in White Cloud, where I'm not going to be able to babysit it. I'll be honest with you. It's going to swarm. I don't see how I can't. And I don't think that, since there's no claims of no bees in the area, it can't be that bad of an idea to let it swarm once or twice. I gotta get it out of here before it weighs 80 pounds. And the same with those nucs. They gotta go this weekend. Well, we found where she wanted to lay drones. Little C's. C's. Man, they're starving. I'm not shocked. I did not buy a ton of sugar this year. Over all the colonies, I fed maybe 9 gallons. If you're gonna use burlap, use a lot of it. I like it. I'm gonna go through a lot of it. So we'll have to see how good the free supply is. Anyways, I'm about to run out of battery. All I'm gonna do is close this up and pull the entrance reducer. I appreciate you watching. Hope your bees are well. Thank you.